In Yemen is raising concerns in the region and beyond as the president and his cabinet have tendered their resignations and Houthi rebels have taken control of the capital, Sana'a. Some Yemenis say the Houthis, a Shia movement, are acting on behalf of Shi'ite Iran. Now this, the Houthis deny. Zlatica Hoke has more.
Heavily armed Houthi rebels remained outside the Yemen president's house and the presidential palace, despite an agreement the night before to withdraw. A rebel in Sana'a said they were there to prevent violence.
We are here to provide security and stability and to protect freedom and services of all people.
President Abd Rabbo Mansur Hadi tendered his resignation Thursday, shortly after a similar move by Prime Minister Khaled Baha, who said his government did not want to be dragged into an unconstructive political maze. The United Nations envoy in Sana'a called on all sides to honor their agreements, which call for power sharing and an end to violence.
واسمحوا لي أن أؤكد هنا ومرة أخرى أن لا حل للأزمة التي يعرفها اليمن.
I want to assert again that the crisis cannot be resolved but by way of what you agreed upon through the outcomes of the NDC and the Peace and National Partnership Agreement. I call you all to have wisdom and national spirit, give priority to the national interests of Yemen, and use dialogue and political action to resolve any political disagreement, away from violence, extortion, and procrastination.
The United States called for dialogue and a peaceful transition in Yemen. President Hadi has been Washington's ally in targeting al-Qaeda-linked groups in Yemen. Houthis also have been fighting al-Qaeda, but it is not clear if they would cooperate with the United States. Washington analyst David Schenker told Al Hura television that the Shiite faction is armed and supported by Iran.
And it's unclear now that the United States, the Obama administration in particular, is working so much with Iran, whether it be against ISIS in Iraq, deconflicting with Iran about Syria policy, whether there can be a modus vivendi on Yemen.
Watching the situation from Cairo, an Egyptian political activist said events in Yemen affect the whole region.
So with Iran in the east, Houthis in the south, this is not a comfortable situation for Saudi Arabia, and of course affecting Saudi Arabia affects the whole region, affects the Gulf area, affects Emirates, and in turn affects Egypt as well.
The Egyptian activist said it is essential to open talks with Iran because in his opinion, Tehran and not the Houthis is a key player in Yemen. Zlatica Hoke, VOA News, Washington.
Well, now, the U.S., Yemen and Saudi Arabia have for years maintained a partnership in advancing their shared interest in Gulf security, including the fight against terrorism. For more analysis, I am now joined by Mohammed Elshinnawi, VOA's senior Middle East reporter. Mohammed, welcome once again to Africa Vector 4. Now, so many things have converged today, you know, the death of King Abdullah and then the situation that is unfolding in Yemen. What do you make of all this?
Well, for the Saudis, I don't have a concern, as many experts said, that the transition is smooth. It was well prepared ahead of that event. And the new ruler, King Salman, is well equipped to be a king right away because he was a crown prince, he was a defense minister, and he was a governor of the capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, for so many years. So, in addition to that, he said early on that there is no change in the U.S. In the Saudi Arabia policy, neither vis-a-vis anti-terrorism nor the energy policy. And of course, if we combine that with the two statements from State Department and the White House about how important is the Arab Peace Initiative that the late King produced as a permanent document that would be good even after his departure for going for the two-state solution. So
there's a continuation here.
yeah.
Yeah, but then how does this play into the unfolding situation in Yemen? Some saw Saudi Arabia as, playing a very important part, but also very much affected by whatever happens in Yemen.
Well, it has been for years a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran in Yemen. But now the Houthis are yielding more power, and that would scare the Sunni tribes that are supported by Saudi Arabia, and experts are fearing that they would have to ally themselves with Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula as a counterpart, because the Houthis are just relying on weapons, and the tribes would have to find a strong ally to fight back. That would be very dangerous for the U.S. because the United States has been relying for years on the Yemeni government to fight back Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. Yeah. And now Houthis are chanting the same Iranian Revolutionary Guards chanting death to America. So America now is facing two enemies in one country, and its policy toward Al-Qaeda is being threatened unless there is some sort of an agreement that could be reached between Houthis and the Yemeni government. Then it would be a real problem.
Well, we'll definitely continue this conversation. Mohammed, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your insights. VOA senior Middle East reporter Mohammed Elshinnawi. While speaking to Al Hura TV, David Schenker, Al-Zain Fellow and Director of the Program on Arab Politics at the Washington Institute, says the situation in Yemen is unpredictable and only time will tell how things will turn out.
The Houthis, we don't know if they're going to cooperate on the counterterrorism mission. This has been, whether it be drones, fighting Al-Qaeda, this has been the primary aspect of the U.S. relationship with Sana'a. That is that we cooperate with President Hadi or anyone else in Sana'a to fight Al-Qaeda. The Houthis certainly have a problem with Al-Qaeda, but whether they will cooperate with us in the same way is an unknown. I don't think there was any view that that anything could have been done by the United States. And in fact, what's being done now is really, preparations for the withdrawal of the U.S. Embassy. This is, incredible setback, I think is how it's viewed in Washington.
Well, that was David Schenker, Director of the Program on Arab Politics at the Washington Institute. We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com.